With Pluto moving into Aquarius, yes, I'm one of them bitches. Absolutely, absolutely. You couldn't tell. With Pluto moving into Aquarius, we finna see much more of that. Okay, y'all haven't seen people getting exposed left and fucking right. I know y'all heard about Jay-Z. I don't know how we get into these topics, but there is so much going on. Well, hello. I don't even be knowing how to start these things. Welcome back to whatever this is. Indeed. Today, I want to talk about Wicked. Oh. I had so many thoughts. First of all, let me get something out the way. Let me set the record straight. My eyes may seem a little red, and it is not from any type of nefarious activity, I promise you. It is from crying. I'm gonna just come out and say it. That shit, oh wow. Like, I saw it twice at this point. Shambles, both times. Both times. And I think what hit so much deeper, my friends, is I fear that none of y'all got the point. Y'all saw the movie, you say you felt the message, and you walked right past it and continued on with your merry way. I'm so sorry. You bought all the products. You got all the things. You did all the promotions that they fed into your capitalist fingers. Oh my God. You played your role well, consumer. But was anybody watching? Here's my thing. The arts are a lost medium. Do you know, like, nobody reads books anymore. Nobody goes to museums, okay? No, nobody consumes art, paintings or anything. Or let alone, like, literature, like, goes to the theater. I'm just saying, like, it's not like it used to be. It's not how it once was. Like, the only way a lot of y'all are getting any of your art and any of that feeling, anything that comes close to that feeling that art's supposed to give you, is when you go to the movies or when you watch your show or ever. That is the form of art. And every single form of art that we are like given is just, in this stage that we are in, is just regurgitated schlop. Oh my goodness. How many reruns, rebrands, redos can we get a franchise before it's like, okay, I get it. All right. I know some of y'all are going to be triggered when I say this because I know Barbie was so impactful for some of y'all, and that's okay. I watched Barbie for the first time on a flight. It wasn't something that was on the top of my list. I can't even lie. I went to see Oppenheimer. Indeed, I did. I thought that was pretty impactful. One, I'm not sure if it's based on anything. Again, it's like we live in a society now, currently, where anything and everything lacks originality. It is just something else with a little twist. That leads me to what I came to say to you people today. Okay. I watched Wicked because first I need to talk about what I was feeling before I even stepped into the theater. All I saw, oh my goodness, the corporate rollout was crazy. Can't even lie about that. The corporate rollout, they paid money for advertising. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. I have a popcorn bucket somewhere. I'm not gonna go get it, One thing about me, when I go to the movies, I'm gonna go and get some popcorn. Isn't even in going to the movies, if I don't get me a big tub of popcorn and eat all of it, I might go back for seconds. I don't care. But anyways, it is just interesting. It was interesting to me. The juxtaposition immediately. Elphaba, dark-skinned black woman. And Galinda, petite, blonde, white woman. I'm not trying. I don't know. Actually, maybe I am trying because, like, we as a black woman, I immediately felt a kind of like, what are y'all trying to do right now? What are you trying to? Because white femininity and black femininity are two very different things. Okay, and when we live in a society, yet again, yes, I'm saying it again, where every single standard of beauty that we have is conceptualized through the mind of the white man, yeah, I don't think I'm on that. Yeah. That's why I think the movie was a lot more impactful. In fact, because of the realness, the different levels of complexity that Cynthia Erivoy, I think I'm saying her name right, I hope I am, added to the role. And I need to do my research on this, but I'm sorry, that was another thing that was turning me off. I mean, the hate train. This is the juxtaposition I want us to face. The hate train I've seen so much hate against Cynthia during this time of like this rollout, blah, blah, like people are lambasting her for this, that, and the third. And some of these allegations, I'm like, oh, where she's being anti-black and blah, blah, anti-black American specifically. I'm like, wait, let me see. Is there any certain? If there is, like, look, but also this is another example of how we hold black women to a certain standard where in the same, like we not even talking about a different movie, a different set or whatever. Girl, we not even talking about a different movie or a different occasion. It was when they were filming this very thing that Miss Goody Two Shoes was sleeping with the father. Oh my goodness. My goodness. Of someone else's child. How do you sleep at night? Anyways, because I know, let's not say in a word about certain celebrities, like their groupies are on a different level, but I just gotta call it like I see it. She has done some heinous things in comparison to what y'all are even bringing up about Cynthia, okay? That's all I'm saying. Ariana Grande, yeah, I'm gonna say the name. What? You slept with a married man and we just gonna, okay, allegedly. You slept with a married man? What's wrong with you? I don't think we should. Let me stop. I was about to say too much. Let me stop. Because, look, all I'm going to say is there is no pride in that. You must feel terrible about yourself. You must lack self-respect to do said actions. I'm not saying she lacks self-respect. I'm just saying it takes someone who lacks a certain amount of self-love, a certain amount of, in my opinion, to subject yourself to that. Why would you do that? Weirdness. And we reward it. She barely even gave y'all a I'm sorry. And she didn't even have to. Now y'all are gonna buy her perfume. What is crazy to me is as I walked out the theater after seeing a movie who the main character was supposed to be Elphaba, Miss Cynthia, I come out. I'm in New York, by the way, New York City. I come out. First thing I see, massive billboard screen, Ariana Grande with her new de parfum. I'm like, is this not crazy to anybody else? Is this not concerning to anybody else? What are y'all doing here? I fear y'all didn't get the message. I fear we watched a different movie. We'll get into it. It's okay. I'm trying to take it one step at a time, but y'all piss me off. Y'all really do piss me off sometimes. Because, anyways, where was I? Beginning, yes. Before I even watched, I had something in my spirit that was like, I'm not liking where they were gonna take this. Okay, something about the rollout, the hate again, like having Ariana seem like she's at the center. When I'm like, wait, who's the main character? I don't have a background in Wicked. I actually never really. The only, that's all I got from it. That's the only know I have of Wicked prior to this movie. Can't even lie. As someone that talks about, oh, art is so important, not all the time. I'm busy. Look, sometimes you gotta catch my attention. Anyways, so I was just going off of what I was seeing. I was like, I don't want to see another embarrassment. We had what happened with Kamala. Yeah, Kamala Harris. And then we had Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. I was like, I cannot suffer another embarrassment. It's not embarrassing, but it's forced embarrassment. Like, what are y'all trying to do at this point? I don't know, like, what they trying to pull, but, like, first of all, rigged. Second of all, rigged. Need I say more? Bro, I'm just saying, like, I'm, like, allegedly. So I was going into this like, yeah, I'm ready to tear this shit apart. Like, any flaw I see captivated me from the minute I saw it. Like, the second I was sat. Hold on, I have some notes. Because, first of all, did they increase the amount of trailers and ads and, like, everything? Because I was sitting in the theater, like, oh my goodness, trailer after trailer after trailer, trailers and ads. Like, ads about going to the theater that I'm currently in, watching movies in. I'm like, yo, this makes me never want to. Anyways, Nicole Kidman, get off my screen with that. But that's happening, and I'm thinking to myself, like, have ads on everything gone up? I'm on YouTube, like, God forbid you try to watch it on TV. I'm like, how many? Oh, what are you talking about? There's no skip. No, they don't have a skip button. It's a next button. You mean next advertisement? I thought we went on the internet to get away from the ads. How did they follow us from TV and everything? And now it's everywhere we look. Oh my goodness. So much, so many. I can't. I can't. And all the trailers that I was looking at, observing, seeing, they were, like I said, duplicates. Okay? The second, this live action, the prequel. Like, okay. Is there any bit of originality in that AI fucking hell pit that is Hollywood? Again, that is something I've noticed when I use ChatGPT. Honestly, anybody that, like, please check its work, because I don't even use it for things that are so, I don't like to rely on it, because I've realized very quickly it's still very stupid. Like, I don't even, and one time, let me stop, because there was one time I pointed out a very logical error ChatGPT made, and I was like, yeah, that's how I know. I don't even know. But anyways, their response was like, yeah, sorry, I'm so stupid. I was like, was that sass? This is getting out of hand, y'all. But my point is, like, what is my point? My point is, we cannot let this be the new creativity. Art is supposed to come from the soul, the spirit. It can't just be an amalgamation of everything that came before and everything that's happening now. Like, no amount of data will ever be enough to reiterate the human soul. That's what I believe. And that is where creativity comes from. Sue me. I don't give a fuck. Look at this. And I'm like, it's trash. It's garbage. Is this what we're going to let them? And that's my thing. It's like, shit like Moana 2. I've seen so much, like, critique, and it's valid, about certain ways where you can just tell someone with passion did not do this. These corporate goonies only care about their bottom line. These corporate goonies. will literally, if we allow them to, feed us our own shit on a nice fancy platter and say, hey, doesn't this look pretty? Eat it. Am I crazy? Maybe I am going crazy because I'm like, um, I can't stand it. I can't stand to be the witness of it. And the reason I think I love, because I loved it. It was so good. Like, and I think the reason I liked it so much was because they made what seemed like a conceited effort to go by the script. And the script is an essence of what musical theater, what arts in general, just the soul of it. And it was tapped in. I'm like, okay, I can get behind this. I thought it was pretty good. And the acting was, yeah, they fit their roles. Why? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Why do you think, like, oh my goodness, Galinda? Yeah, cast that shit perfect. That's that type of witchy ass bitch. Let me stop calling people bitches because I don't want to get in trouble. That's not what I mean. I'm just saying, like, some of these women really only have bitterness and hatred in their hearts. When I tell you, I am new to white women. Like, I grew up in a place where I was surrounded by black women, like, mostly, and as just also women of color. And so, if someone had problems with you, if a woman had problems with you, you knew about it. There was no, like, yes, there was petty shit and petty drama, but what white women, y'all be like doing some type of psychological warfare that is like different. I'm like, damn, you hate that girl that much? Like, oh my God. So I say all this to say, like, please, it's just cruelty. My goodness. So when I saw that, and that's what I was seeing in the movie, just cruelty, random acts of cruelty to this girl, to this little girl who grew up to be a woman who has just had random acts of cruelty lobbied against her for the color of her skin. It's like, what did I do? You see, that's why it was hard. It was hard not to empathize with Cynthia, not only watching her act as Elphaba in the movie, but seeing the shit that was playing out in the real world. I'm like, everybody is giving Ariana the praise of the century. It's like, did we not forget? Yeah. No one mourns the wicked, indeed. It's like y'all forgot that the main point is that who y'all make out to be the villain are actually the most powerful people, the most talented people, the people that deserve your praise. You give it to these mediocre assholes every single time. I'm not saying anybody specifically is mediocre. They both ate. I can't lie about that. They both ate down. But I'm like, why? Why isn't there equivalent? I'm even hearing that she got paid. The main character in this fucking play got paid less than her counterpart. And then I'm just looking. I'm not gonna comment on anybody's physical being, but if you need help, go and get some help. Like, oh my goodness, does anybody hear what I'm saying when I say that? Because I was looking the whole time and I'm like, do you need, like, look, everybody's built different. And there are literally studies, okay? Let me quote them. Let me give them here. There are literally studies about how POC women usually face very different body standards than their white counterparts. And thinness in the white community, oh my gosh, so important to y'all. Like, it make or breaks y'all. And the interesting thing is because we live in a society so done and they throw white privilege, they throw white standards on us. And it is a privilege because we are literally living right now, just teetering to make sure that these people don't feel mediocre. That is the line that we are all teetering on. That's how I feel. Like, because I don't, there's so many things I want to say, but like I'm restraining myself because y'all say you want the hard opinions. Y'all say you want the truths. No, you don't. You just want what everybody else is saying, and that's all anything is anymore. Everybody's saying the same shit. Can you say something new? Can you do something new? Be original for once in your fucking lives. What is the point? What is the point? Okay, I'm getting upset. Because it's stressful, bro. Like, it's everywhere. Again, like, the media that we consume is just a reflection of where we are in society. And what does this shit tell me? Oh my gosh. It's just more and more and more of the same. And they're saying we need to be okay with that. Like, I feel like this goes against our very nature. Like, we all feel like there is something so completely wrong. Substance usage in general, like, everybody's using something, doing something, addicted to something to get away from reality. Do y'all think this is normal? They say it's a willpower problem. If does everybody just collectively struggle with willpower all of a sudden? No. These things, these regimes are progressing faster than our minds, our brains can literally catch up. The evolution hasn't clicked in yet. Like, we are still babies in all of this newness that is happening. And with Pluto moving into Aquarius, yes, I'm one of them bitches. Absolutely. Absolutely. You couldn't tell? With Pluto moving into Aquarius, we finna see much more of that. Okay, y'all haven't seen people getting exposed left and fucking right. I know y'all heard about Jay-Z. I don't know how we get into these topics, but there is so much going on. And it's like y'all don't see the bigger picture. Y'all don't see what's happening, okay? Y'all don't want to have the cloak removed, okay? There was literally symbolism about that in the movie. Y'all didn't see, y'all didn't catch it when Elphaba first was doing her powers and it broke through the seal. And the bitch that said they had the power the whole time, no, underneath, there was a whole different group of people that had it the entire time. Can I get an amen? Anyways, let me focus on the things that I wrote down. Okay, yeah, so we got the trailers out the way. That just really sent me into a spiral. I had to gather myself while I was watching it, okay? And I was like, let me try to prepare myself for the movie. Propaganda. Let's talk about it because we saw it everywhere in the movie. I mean, there were so many posters, so many paintings about how wicked the witch was. And okay, if it hasn't occurred to whoever is watching this that there's gonna be spoilers up to this point, spoiler alert, this whole thing, we gonna be going like from beginning to end to end to beginning. Like, I hope y'all know, please. But by the end, we realized that it started with just an announcement after the main character decided to say no to something that the forces at B, we'll call them, wanted to get done. And they painted her out to be such a wicked, terrible person to the point where we have niggas dancing around a statue burning of her. I'm like, that is something called hatred. Hey, my goodness. I have never seen this like level, like dang. But where have we seen this before in our societies? You can't tell me there is not. If it wasn't a purposeful draw, I'm seeing, okay, I am definitely seeing the alignment. And again, with the person who played it, Cynthia Erivoy, being a dark-skinned woman with black fucking features. Oh my goodness, because that is the thing, like the black standards of beauty that in this white ass society, you know, in this, and it's not even like a white, because what did I find out? That only 7 to 16% of the world is fucking white. I thought it was a bigger percentage. I thought they at least copped like a third. No, this whole time, I mean, you think about it, they even, the proportions of how they place like the maps and whatnot are different. Certain countries, like Africa is fucking huge. You can fit like multiple different countries, continents even in Africa. Maybe not. I don't know if I'm exaggerating, but that it is underplayed. Just notice like everything is propaganda. propaganda. It starts there. They want to control what you're even thinking by bombarding you with messages everywhere. All I am saying is be careful what you believe is your opinion. Because I was born and raised in the North in New York City, and I recently chose, yes, by choice, or I'll just say, I just recently chose to move down to the South. And I will say, yes, there are certain rights and there are certain worries and there are certain things that definitely come to mind. But at the same time, I just feel like it's a different face of racism. I feel like liberals, quote unquote, like that kind of like yuppie, energy, like they'll like smile with you or smile at you, kind of give you like that sympathy kind of look and think that they're being your friend. God forbid you actually say something that is controversial to what their white fragile ass mind has going on. Like, please, you will be ultimately the villain in their story. But it's very different to Southern racism, or I guess conservative racism. I don't know, because I've met some Trump supporters, y'all, and I know it's, bear with me when I say this, I've met some Trump supporters, just like in random Ubers or whatever, who seem like the chillest guys. These are the niggas that like fought in the war, like old ass men, not old ass, but like a different generation of men, like men that you would not expect, men that I would think would be the OG. Come on, white men that would, but they're just poor, former vets and whatever. They're like, I don't even care about white, black, none of that. But Trump, he's different from the rest, and I'm like, okay. It is access to education and access to knowledge, and books are knowledge. Arts is knowledge. It is literally ideas being exchanged on a very, like, we were doing this in the caves before we had any other medium. We were drawing pictures, writing down words, and they are trying to eliminate that from the human ability. How much of the youth even reads anymore? Oh, this is not what I thought this video was going to be about, but I'm pleading out here. I'm like, where have we gone? How have we strayed from what was important? And we're saying, oh, it's not even worth having that skill anymore. That skill is out of service. We have been doing this for eons. And we talk about the Egyptians and the Mesopotamians who have created things beyond what we were able to even fathom. I mean, they were able to make things that we call one of the wonders of the earth. Like, we don't even know how the fuck they did that, but they were still writing. They were still writing pictures, making pictures on the walls and shit like that. Like, they was doing it. And I'm sure they could have found an easier way to get the message across. But sometimes there is beauty in the labor. Certainly there, that's the funny thing, because I feel like what should take the time to produce in our society, what should take that energy, be like what real people are doing and focusing on, because real people have passions about these things, is what we are making the robots do. And people are stuck doing the jobs that I feel like could easily have a program be doing. Okay, I don't know about what the rest of y'all do, but I think about every day. I'm like, first of all, my little office job, and we gotta be thankful for what we got. But my little office job, what is the most frustrating, when I find myself the most frustrated, is when I'm like, it's a nice ass day outside. I see the sun shining from my little cubicle through someone else's office window. And I'm like, it is such a beautiful fucking day. Maybe I get to go out to lunch and experience the sun for a little while. But I will get my work done in the first 3 hours of the day. And the rest of the day, I'm just spent sitting, waiting for someone to call on me and say, I need this. Maybe I got to do something that costs 10 minutes of my time. And I'm like, there must be ways that we can actually maximize our time. They have taken away what is the most important for us to have autonomy over. And that is our fucking day. That is what we do with our time, what we do. And again, that's why I even talked about this, because propaganda. Think about what is being shoved in your face as what a happy life is like. Happier is easier. Everything is simple. But I hope y'all have watched the fucking Buy Now documentary on, I'm not even gonna say, it's on a certain media website. You can get it from different sources. Okay, links below. Someone please in the comments help people out, because we are not even entertaining these massive conglomerates that are cutting off. We just had a writers what's it called, protest. I'm like, it was what did they call them? Oh god, strikes. We just had a writer strike. We saw that. Like, people are saying that their artistry is being taken advantage of. I just saw someone say, this is why they taken away TikTok, because I saw it on TikTok. I just saw someone talk about how the terms and services of these major corporations are evolving for them to say, we can take your data from everywhere. We already knew that was happening. Yes, that's what cookies are. That's even propaganda in themselves. Cookies, it has such a nice name. It has something, oh yeah, cookies. Cookies can be, I love cookies. Look up what it means. Like, it's everywhere. It's in the language. It's in the pictures. It's in the food. It's everywhere, y'all. Ooh, we love America, right? Welcome home. Welcome. Oh my gosh. So we are dealing with a whole population of people that don't even know, aren't even in tune with their true selves, their true desires. Everybody's performing something. And that is what I think Wicked in its essence was really hyperbolic. I don't know. It was something, I feel like that was one of the core messages, because the only person that was forced to be true to who they were, because no matter how much they wanted to conform themselves and fit into whatever they were in, they were the opposite. They were so drastically different from everything else that was. It was not possible for them to fit in. So they just had to learn how to stand out and live with it. Isn't that beautiful? But everybody else who has that proximity, and they are able to be like, maybe if I try hard enough, I'll be accepted by the cool kids. Maybe the cool kids will take me in. The cool kids in our society being the white people. They are the 1%, the higher ups. And it's literally everywhere, because we've learned to like associate whiteness, a lot of us, with a different caliber of living. You think about like, I've lived in Boston for a period of time, and I noticed strikingly how areas where I was going to, there was universities and whatnot, and people of a different tone and complexion, the city just looked more beautiful. There was trees, there was, foliage, but there was also like better architecture. You go down one street, literally like a block over, and everything is run down, and everything is like, I'm like, wait, surely this can't be the same place. And I've been to places like South Africa where it is even more jarring. I'm talking about you standing in Cape Town, looking at the big, beautiful city, and then you're right across. They have a word for these like these shelter towns that South African people, Black South African people, because apparently I have to differentiate that. South African people have created for themselves, because they literally cannot afford housing in their own country. Oh wow. It is so deep, y'all. If y'all didn't know how deep this shit was, it is deep. And that is the thing that I was so upset about. That's I guess what I was picking up on before I even watched the movie, and then now afterwards I'm even more certified on, because y'all are purposefully overlooking the point. Okay? It's like y'all don't even want to see it. I wrote down something not nice, but I'm going to say it anyways. Ariana, is that a wig? I'm just asking. They say a lot about us not having our natural hair and us not liking our natural hair, but was that your natural hair? I don't know. I thought I clocked something. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm tripping. But all I'm just saying is, y'all like to say a lot about what white people have that black people don't. Seems to me y'all don't got much. The next thing I wrote, oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I was jotting these down as I was watching, bro. That nigga is ugly. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not, because you did your wife dirty. Let me not. I'm not trying to hate on just the woman, because it is a nuanced topic when we talk about infidelity. Ultimately, it is the man that holds that promise. I'm looking at Ariana as a fellow woman and I'm calling her in. That's why I'm upset at her. That man was useless to begin with. That's how I see it, kind of. I'm looking at this man and I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? That's who you folded for? That's who you just had to have? Are we in a drought, my brothers and sisters? It has to be. I can't. Let me stop it. Everybody looks how they look. Hey, some people think I'm ugly. That's okay. I don't know why people are so scared that other people don't like the way they look. That's life. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And if you think you are walking on a very precarious line. Anyways, so yeah, that man. Need I say more? But that's your man. That's your man, right? Yeah. So the next scene that caught my eye was the history lesson that was taught by a goat. First and foremost, the erasure of the humanities from higher education really needs to be studied. It's not even just higher education, but because you think of any school that is funding, first thing that gets cut when money gets tight is the arts. That is the first thing that gets cut. They have slowly but surely told us what needs to be at the top of our minds. Because at the end of the day, art don't pay the bills. Creativity and passion don't keep you warm at night. That house do. That heat does. It hit plenty nice in the winter every time. I'm like, oh, I just need to be inside. And it reminds me of the people that don't have that luxury. They have to be outside. And I'm thinking about New York and Eric Adams, who's been indicted on federal charges, thank God. And I'm like, this man was tearing down homeless camps. It's like these people have nothing. And it's the same, this is what I'm talking about. There's so many places in our society where people have nothing, create something for themselves, only for the forces, the people who want to tell us, again, they have power. They want to say to us they have powers. But as we have seen in this medium, they don't have power at all. Their power is fake. It is just a lot of gadgets. It's just a lot of, the wizard, spoiler, has no power. These forces have no power. We do. Okay? I promise you, you take your dollar away from these people, they will be begging for mercy, because that's the only language they speak. Dollars, dollar bills, y'all. And they will do whatever it takes to silence those who are genuinely speaking on the shit that's important. And that's what art, that's what humanities always does. You think about any renaissance that has happened in like the societies that have come before us, and it's always simultaneous. The sciences and the technologies and the arts and the history and the philosophy and the English, the literature, It is a combined evolution, okay? Like, I'm even thinking about the Harlem Renaissance. That's more recent that we've seen. But yes, it was at a time where life was getting better in a lot of ways. The 20s, that were those roaring 20s right before the Great Depression hit. Isn't it interesting that people always are in a time period where there is like more freedom, a little more fluidity? And I've even seen stuff about how there is what's it called? What is the word? There is something between between what are the two things? I lost it. I'm sorry. So the history GOAT class, yes. This man was in the middle of his lesson, right? Talking about when people are hungry. See, I be talking. When people are hungry, they look for someone to blame. So when the forces need y'all to fight again, because a house divided against itself will not stand. They know this. We know this. We should. If y'all have been paying attention in your history classes, clearly some of y'all weren't. And it's not even some of y'all's fault. They've given you a device in your hands that literally has so much power over you. Oh my goodness. How long can you be away from your phone? Some people literally have panic attacks, but I'm going back to let me go back to the point because I need to get this out. They want us to blame each other for a problem they are actively causing, if not exacerbating. Are y'all hearing me? Like, we have plenty. And if we don't, we are on the cusp. There are so many great, brilliant minds. The technology is moving at rates like more than we can even keep up with. But because the task of this technology is to make more and more of that good green stuff, instead of making human life for all, not just for some, a minute sum, a very exclusive sum. I had a thought the other day. Royalty in the West, in America, and all these other places never disappeared. It is the celebrity class that we are gazing upon right now. You think those people are talented? Maybe a good bit, some of them are, but the rest are just results of the father of this knowing the son of that, the cousin of this. It's just an incestuous exchange of money and sex and greed and filth. That is what the ruling class is. It's what it was back then. It has just changed its name. And it's the same thing as I'm sure the plebeians did back in the eras of the dark plague and whatever. I feel like these were the people, the royalty, because they had a different lifestyle. They had money. They had a sustainable amount of food. Like, again, even what we consider luxury is changing now because we are being deprived of so much of what we used to believe we were able to have. Okay, and that is the interesting part of capitalism, watching the decline. There was a part, the people before us were living in a time where it was perfect. Not perfect, for the white people, honestly. There still had to be, that is how capitalism is. There has to be a class that is definitively less than another, okay? And then the social hierarchy is made from there. We say the caste system was this is not humanity, this is not humane. We have it today. There is a system, okay? And it includes your body, whether you're able-bodied, whether you're in a bigger body, whether you're in a darker skinned body, whether that body has a penis or a vagina, and whether you act in the confines that that is supposed to give you. Like, there is so much shit. Like, the hierarchy is so deep, y'all. There are so many isms and schisms that they have created, and it is just more and more restrictions. And let's get back to the movie about what you are not allowed to be. But again, when people are hungry, they look and no. Let's reframe this. If we make the people hungry, we need to give them someone to blame. And I found it interesting that right after that scene, we saw the hate speech and how most of the people didn't react to it because it's just words. Y'all don't see the power in the things that you say, in the things that you read. I was scrolling through my YouTube feed the other day and I noticed, and I've heard creators talk about this too. It's like every single like title you see is like, oh, the worst of this, the most disgusting, evil, the most like insert like negative buzzword here. And I'm like, this is what I'm scrolling through right before I go to bed. Isn't that something? This is what we're exposing our brains to. And the mind is such like a complex thing that it picks up on things before we even realize, before our brain can compute it, okay? We are picking up on things. There's so much stimuli. And that is the other thing. It's thrown at us all the time. It's funny. Like where we are all being collectively less stimulated intellectually, we are experiencing more stimulation every single day regularly. And it's like, no wonder we're so brain dead and so like walking in a fog. Whew, this is deep. I'm like, I've just been talking, but I wanted to definitely note the fact that the people reacted so, because people get so comfortable when they're at a position where they feel like this would never happen to me. This doesn't have anything to do with me. And I see the kind of apathy that is playing out like post-election when it comes to places like Palestine or other genocides around the world. It's like, oh, is that trend over? Trend. And that's what y'all didn't get, because people get so bitter. Like, oh, Black people have so much support. Everybody was posting for Black Lives Matter. Yeah. Because we are the culture that is cool to pretend that you like. But everybody, it's just like we don't say the quiet part out loud. That's what we saw in this election. Honestly, it really just like, oh, hammered in that nail in the coffin, because this woman has worked in every branch of government. I'm sorry, I gotta bring it up. She's worked in every branch of government. The most qualified you could possibly be to hold that position. And I think it just affirmed for me like, oh, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I have been trying. I've been doing my best, actually. But y'all don't reward someone that's doing their best. Or not someone like me anyways. But there's someone who does. Hallelujah. That's why I don't need these niggas who say they have the power to reward you. They don't have power over shit. There is only one that has power over me. Ask about her. Okay, anyways. Different points. We're going to go in a whole different direction. Do we have any examples of like straight men performing in romance in the media anymore? Because allegedly, I got to double check this, but I heard the main love interest in this movie is gay and has a man. I'm like, go ahead, live your life, be who you are and all that shit, you know? I love it. But wait, are the girls getting straight men actually showing on the screen? Because Hollywood is full of closets. Let's be honest. The trans women have been telling us from day one. The gay men have been telling us too from day one. Like, that place, there's so many secrets. Again, Age of Aquarius, that's just about to be exposed. I'm just like, is that just something I'm noticing? I don't know. Let's ask questions. Please don't cancel me. I just started. Like, it's just something I'm like, interesting. Interesting to think about, you know? And that's for another day. That's a conversation for another day. What else do I have to say? I said, should have known mans was gay after I saw his dancing. There was a little too much pep in his step. Let me stop. Anyways, that's a compliment. He was killing that. And I was like, no straight man I've ever met has hips like that. Them hips don't lie. But I was loving the disability visibility right there. And even the message that was in that, like the infantilization that happens of so many different groups. I've seen TikTok, there's this unfiltered source of media. And I want it to be noted that they're not trying to just delete TikTok from existence because it's bad for our health. Because there is a caveat in this ban that they've given the owners of TikTok, and it is if you sell it to an American company, which means if you give us all the data, this precious data that this app is collecting, we will no longer take it away. They don't want to protect us. They want to have ownership over us. That is what our government currently wants. That is what they believe. That is what they're saying is in our best interest. So that what I come to say is like through these sources, because that is the other hand of social media where, yes, they learn about our data and they use it against us at an unprecedented amount, literally just forming more and more ways to make us buy, consume, be a good little puppet worker and live your puny little lives until you die. Maybe you'll get a little time off when you're like 78. But maybe will you even be able to afford a mortgage at this rate? I'm not sure. But in the movie, I noticed that as well. Like, you say that like, yes, the people that are less fortunate, how sad, how tragic it is to be you. And it's like, you need help, you need assistance, you need to be treated like a child. I mean, I can't speak for the disabled community because that is a whole different experience. But I've seen even like little people. I hope I'm calling them the correct name, but like they've talked about how in Hollywood parties and stuff, and even in like we think of like Willy Wonka, some of the older renditions, like there was a lot of mockery. I'm even thinking now about like, circuses back in the day where freak shows, that's what they would call them. This was disabled people. And we want to act like that is the only difference I feel like we've gotten to in our society. We would prefer to act like we support them and that we're not secretly gawking at them and being like, oh my gosh, how unfortunate. It's patronizing. It is. That's what Glinda, Ariana Grande, was really good at portraying. And that's what I was feeling for Elphaba, for Cynthia Erivoy this whole time. Because I'm like, I've seen her performance. She ate. Like, bro, she plate clear. No crumbs. 3 courses. Like, I was thoroughly impressed. And yet, nobody is giving her her flowers. Again, even in the money that was given to her, allegedly. Like, that's what y'all do now? So clearly, even the producers or whoever's responsible, I don't know, whoever was responsible for the rollout of this movie, had no care, no clue, no idea, and no want to even know what the message was meant to be. That's just my thoughts right now. I don't think I gotta say much more than that. I don't think I have much more to say other than that, you know? Maybe maybe I'll watch it again, maybe I won't. This has been a cathartic talk for me. I don't know if anybody's hearing anything that I said. I hope that this adds something different to the noise. That's all. That's all. I hope some of the shit that I said you've never heard before. That would be cool. That would be cool. Otherwise, enjoy your day. I'm gonna continue to just look around and wonder how the fuck we got here. Yeah. How did we get here?